when she saw my thing, God, she responded to me and said she can't come.
Yeah, she's feeling a little bit under the weather today.
Yeah. I saw it go. We would have loved to have her, but let me see what this lady says, because June says she's a very good friend and she has to go. She forgot she was
Are
going.
we live?
No, she's not coming on this morning. She
Michelle,
just
please say good morning.
sorry.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Oh, we live. I forgot. So we live. Oh my gosh. So we go. Let me correct this. Because
Yes, good morning. Good morning from warm, sunny, bright Jamaica. It is good to be here again. Thank you so much. Miss Michelle, good to see you.
Nice seeing you too. Thanks for bringing greetings from Jamaica. I want to be there now.
do you mean she's bringing greetings this morning?
Yes.
Bring greetings for us. Let me hear you.
Greetings from sunny Jamaica. This is Dr. Dianna Davis-Smith. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you who are watching in foreign country to Jamaica, and we're going to have fun for the next 2 hours. And all my friends, them who not feeling so well this morning, cheer up and soon feel better. Going to send some syrup for those who sick in the stomach, ginger for those who really sick in the stomach. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up? Good morning, everybody. That is your greetings coming from Jamaica. This is Leo Gilling, and I have alongside me this morning attorney Michelle Fanger, and as you heard, Dr. Dianna Davis-Smith. The trio is a three-way tag team partner this morning, because boy, I be talking this morning. We have so much things to talk about. Whole heap of things to talk about this morning. But it's Dianna, it looked like Jamaica war upon police war one stab up, and then wouldn't let him through the thing there. This is a serious thing. Wouldn't let him through the toll bridge. And then another man beat up a policeman. I mean, what's going on?
It's unfortunate, and we reminisce with the police officers who, have suffered in the line of duty, and perhaps at the end of the line of duty, this kind of unfortunate situation. Rather sad that the police officer pulled over to change his tire, and then he's attacked by a teenager, stabs him multiple times. He turns around his vehicle now to go back to the direction that he's coming from to get to the hospital, and then the agent would not lift the thing. The man is bleeding. The man has stab wounds.
16 stab wounds or something like that, right?
And 14.
14. Oh my God!
They wouldn't lift the rail, so that, oh my gosh, that hummingbird just right outside of my window. It is just totally.
Hold on. Hummingbird or Dr. Bird? Dr. Bird or hummingbird? Which one?
With the long tail and
the long tail one, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, take a picture now. Take a picture.
No, we're not
gone. Yes. Oh, me not think Michelle know them the kind of bird. Yeah, she might have known look a short tail hummingbird, but she don't know the doctor.
No, not hummingbird, a real Dr. Bird. He came with his case and all. Yes. So it was unfortunate. I think that as we all as Jamaicans need to be a little bit more mindful and use our initiative. So whether or not the policy is that people not to drive through on that side, there is an emergency. Here is somebody who could possibly lose his life. Life must mean something more to us, but clearly don't mean anything to us.
Do you think that she or he, whomever it was, the kind of directions or instructions that they get was so that, if they do that without authority, they lose their jobs and their jobs is at stake? I mean, what's the deal? What would that be?
Well, I shudder at the thought, Leo, that at 3:00 in the morning, when there is somebody clearly injured, heading out to the hospital, it is quite clear to you, it's not a guess or something, and that they would lose their job or think that they could possibly lose their job, well, them should have lose their job for it, so that the whole country could take on the authorities who would have dismissed them for making such a decision.
Yeah,
We
I
have to
agree
be
with
more
that.
sensitive. We have to be more empathetic. We have to be kinder,
Yes,
just
yes.
generally kinder.
And then that was a 16-year-old, and the
Yes,
16-year-old who stabbed the police officer. So think
yes.
about it for a minute. If he at 16-year-olds, his mentality is already criminal, all right? Now look at this big gentleman who manhandled a police officer, don't want to be arrested and thinks he can get away with it. I understand that one day. Did you see that video? I sent it to you.
Yes, I saw that video where the police officer was trying to arrest the taxi operator.
Right.
And he was just throwing him down like a little raggy doll. He just flips down, and all of that. Poor
The,
policeman.
the policeman's
But
supposed to come stronger than that, though, still, right?
no, but the policeman is
Well,
strong. He's mentally
how
strong. He
strong
did train
how
himself.
strong I should be. The people have lost so much respect.
That's
It
exactly.
kind of sad and disheartening. And that's why the criminal behavior is getting out of hand. They have no respect for authority. So
Yes.
how dare he do that to that officer? How dare he? Like you see everybody, what the crowd was supposed to support him in doing this
The
act.
crowd did not support him. I'm so happy for that.
Yeah. It out of hand, man, and disrespectful. And I saw that she gave him 6 charges, and I hope
All of them stick.
they
All of them stick.
Yeah.
Them got jail for a long time and him serve as an example.
Yeah, they need to set examples now with
Yes.
these people.
Yeah, man. You're not supposed to get off at all. That's unfortunate. That
It's
our
unfortunate.
culture has turned into disrespect, lack of respect for police officers. And I don't know how deep that goes, but it must be deep for us to see a 16-year-old stabbing up a police officer and a taxi operator beating up on another police. Something is wrong with that. That don't
And
look good.
something is the care it's a sad is so sad because not even teachers they respect. Remember one time you used to fear a teacher. If you see a teacher coming, it's like the biggest fear.
Yeah.
They don't have that fear. They don't have respect for authority. Like, what's going on? Like, what happened? Like, I guess they really need to figure out what happened because I know within my year, the 90s to early 2000s, we have respect, but I don't know what happened between then and now.
Yeah,
It's
then
like
not all
none.
gone.
Well, one of the news articles that I have prepared.
Oh, we forgot. So we're supposed to read. Oh, Dianna. Oh, I am so sorry. On this show, we're supposed to read the articles and give insights and trade comments on these things, and we just take off talking. I guess things so hot, right?
It's true Jamaicans. We just chat out.
Yeah.
But what we just spoke about is consistent with the article that I'm going to read. It says, academics point to danger if COVID-induced education deficit worsens. And this was from Friday's paper, the Jamaica Observer. 2 senior academics are convinced that if the education deficit at the primary and secondary levels spawned by the novel coronavirus pandemic worsens, Jamaica will be saddled with a new wave of criminals and miserable citizens. Professor Anthony Clayton, the Alcan Professor of Caribbean Sustainable Development at the University of the West Indies, and social anthropologist Dr. Herbert Gale, who is also based at UWI, advanced the view in recent interviews with the Jamaica Observer, looking at the fallout in the education sector as students, many of them from poor families, have not been able to log on to online classes because they cannot afford smart devices or internet fees. New reports have shown that some of these students, driven by the need to survive, have opted to find work on construction sites and other low-skilled jobs. Unfortunately, that is all too likely. Some of them will have lives which are just much more miserable than they would have been, and others probably are going to end up going into crime. Professor Clayton said.
I don't want to make to sound like that though. I don't think that COVID have anything to do with some people's mentality and disrespect and disregard for police officers. That don't make any sense. So
but it might just be correct, because here you had a 16-year-old who is a secondary school student who at 3 o'clock in the morning is out on the road practicing some leisure.
Mine were already gone long time before COVID.
So Leo, some of it is I want to support my colleagues in agreeing that yes, this pandemic and this lack of learning and this lack of training and this lack of structure that we here have in our primary and secondary level is going to lead to situations like this frustration.
Well, let's talk about the taxi man, because the taxi man definitely him left school long time and it has nothing to do with COVID.
No, but the professor said, that it is going to lead to miserable citizens.
Here is one person.
He's miserable.
Weston Campbell says the police also attack the people without provocation. I've seen it happen. That is not really on top now, but it's a discussion to make. And I don't know. I didn't see that on a video where a policeman attacked a citizen. What I saw was a citizen manhandling a police officer, and I also saw the article where one police officer got 14 stabbed up from a. That's what we're really talking about right now. All right, and I want to know a little bit. Tell me, address this particular issue about our citizens, the mentality of our citizens, and because we only have 13,000 police officers on the road, right? 13,000 against 2.8 million citizens in our country. What it means is that we don't have enough police officers. We need to take care of them a little bit more than that, a little better than that, and show the respect.
I agree with you that we don't have enough police officers, and I think the government recognizes that too. In fact, in 2018, I signed an agreement with the then Minister of National Security alongside with 3 other institutions, to prepare 400 young people for advancing into the police force, to serve at community level with full knowledge of security issues and community policing. Never came to nothing. And too often, this is what happens. We recognize what the problem is. There's a little initiative and somebody change, some personnel change, and nothing else happens. And it is just lost.
Somebody else mentioned here that what happened to a parental control, that has to play in there too, right? At 16-year-old, that young man on the street at 3 a.m. in the morning, I don't know. I mean,
the parents have to play a bigger part too, like especially with COVID being rampant. Like parents have to step up now, seeing that they don't have the formal education, so they need to play their part. A child at 16 should not be on the road, especially with a curfew. You're supposed to know where your child is.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
They need to start taking responsibility now. They need to know where their child is, and the government needs to step up what recourse they can against these parents who are being lackadaisical. Sorry, under the weather. But I understand, like some children, I don't want to say they're out of control, but they are independent minded and want to do their own thing. But you are the parent. If you're not able to control them, I guess no, you could have the government step in at some level. But parents need to be responsible now for the conduct of their children. You can't leave it on society or the police to fix it.
I agree with you.
That's just my opinion.
I agree with you. Leah, I want to ask you though, what view do you have this in? Do you have it on speaker view or all?
Oh, we are. Oh, I'm sorry. So we need to see each other all together, right? That's what you're saying. Okay, thank you very much. See, they know because only when we talk, we feel
Yes.
so. All right. So now we have the gallery view, so we can all be there together.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
So yes, that's a little unfortunate news, and the people are miserable. They're miserable for multiplicity.
That's why they want a little freedom.
What do you mean the freedom? What do you mean they want a little freedom?
A party, little. It's 8 o'clock curfew as they work day. They just sleep all day, you reach up, they can't chill, relax, they have to go lock up. Of course, they're
Oh
gonna be frustrated.
Lord.
Of party. There was
um,
an article about discuss over big party for social media star. So
I
social
was
media.
there. I was there virtually.
listen,
You were
man.
there
The
virtually?
government was helping out, then give us Beres Aman last week Sunday night, and for the whole month, then give us all kind of party, singers, dancers, poets, everything. So that should not be a reason why no,
But
me not agree with that.
but if you're locked up in your house by yourself, what that means? That doesn't mean nothing. When the dance goes, no, people need to interact, you know.
Well,
Yeah, but this is too much of a big party to be interacting with on the heels of the police releasing a video last week, or was it the week before, Leo, of the people streaming out of the dance session.
yeah, oh my God. That I am positive that if Michelle were close by, she would be one of those people coming out of that club.
Of course, practice up the place.
Or a million people coming out of a club.
Only there to go rescue our client.
But
Oh my God. No, but we have to take serious thing, make joke. But the reality is, we cannot create war against police officers. They are our protectors on the streets, and they are the ones who put their lives at risk for the masses of the people. And we can't have the one and two people out there ready to hurt them and ready to disrespect them and disregard them, because trust me, once that they are gone off the street, once the police them not up on the street and then we lose respect, then we have a different kind of problem, because then there's no control at all on our streets and in our country. And then what they call that again? Anarchy they call that? How they call that?
Country.
Lockdown. No, we need communism to come take care of this thing here. That you don't want that. You do not want that
that
to
is
stay.
extreme. Everybody needs to play their part in this fight. And even though we're saying like the police, like we have to show respect, but they also have to give respect to the citizens in order to gain respect. So that's another aspect, because sometimes they're disrespectful for real to regular citizens.
We have two people talking about parental responsibility. Sonia Rose says the parents should be made accountable for their young children where there are, and levy fines. Fines should be levied. Pauline Hogg McKee says, has the government played a part in diminishing parental discipline of the children? Interesting question. She wants to know, did the government have anything to do with the parenting controls being diminished? That might be. That's a good thought. What? How?
Perhaps enforcement or support services, perhaps a lack of support services, perhaps a lack of social support services to help parents who have challenges raising their children, perhaps because of economic issues, perhaps they struggle to put food on the table and to keep roof over their heads, or to take care of their health. If government perhaps were able to address some of those and to relieve me of that responsibility, I could perhaps focus more on my parenting.
Well, you also talked about education, providing the right education to keep the kids busy and to make sure that they are in school. Well, we can't even make sure now because of COVID thing. But
more so now to make sure they're in school, Leo, not because of no COVID, despite COVID.
I know.
Children teaching and learning needs to continue in a significant and meaningful way. Because you see, these two professors have said we're reading the article now with examples being cited.
Yeah, I agree. we have another article to read. I mean, we start out with war. We start out with crime. That's a bad sign.
Well, I'm sorry, Leo, for picking war.
It is our society. It is
I
everywhere.
struggle to find something beyond war or struggles or challenges.
Yes, Clarice Hudson says, good morning. What is going on with the Jamaica medical system, especially at Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay? No hospital bed for the sick. Please do better, Jamaica.
Well, I don't know. See what it takes me now to that video that was most disturbing for me. That voicemail from that patient who is sitting laying down in the ICU, and there's a power outage, and the machine that she's on goes down, and it doesn't come back up. And the nurse says to her that they have to come from downstairs or something. Did you guys see that clip?
I heard it. I did. I heard it. Her last words were whoa, was just painstaking. It was hard to listen to her saying, come on, do something, it was kind of hard. And it's the same. I heard Michelle said there was another situation earlier this week about another patient who died, but her child was rescued.
That was a few months ago.
Oh, okay. And
so it just continues.
Yeah, we talked about the asthma patient who was turned away from UWI this week and was turned away and she died. These are serious things. These are horrible things.
A hospital there's a hospital. This is a public hospital. This is a major hospital in Jamaica, and the power goes out, and there's no engineer on duty to go and make sure that all the floors get back their power. There is nobody, as a matter of process or policy, that that you have to double check with the ICU. Each
ICU patient supposed to get priority treatment. They're not supposed to call down. They're supposed to be checking on them right then and there. Okay, how did this go? Is this? I mean, it just. But we lost 70. Well, we lost 70 nurses from UWI between January and February this month.
Yeah, but I don't think the loss have anything to do with it, because these issues have been plaguing the health system for years, and they know the issues and they haven't addressed anything. Because each time people cry out about an issue, they put a band-aid on it. They really need to evaluate the health system and do a full overall, and fix everything that can be fixed. Because even now with this, I thought somebody raised the issue of them not having a backup system last week, and they said they have it in place, a generator. So if anything happens, they're able to, nothing, it won't miss a beat.
I sense that the generator, I sense that electricity came back, but the unit would not restart.
Yeah, right. But they're supposed to have the engineer to go and check, or they had to check everything and make sure every patient, everything is up. Like it's supposed to have somebody on staff right there, on staff, round the clock to check because anything can happen.
Yeah,
anything can happen.
I see you with a patient in ICU. It's like one patient. 2 patients to every 1 nurse or something like that. 1 patient to 2 nurse or something like that. I'm not so sure, but ICU, it's intensive care.
Exactly.
Meaning,
so somebody have to always be on watch. A supervisor.
Yeah, you're not supposed to call.
And the nurse.
Yeah. Exactly. But she and the nurse working together, because the nurse is saying she tried something about trying to get the person that they have to come up and fix it. But for me, it's a process. What is the process? Who is in charge of the night shift? Who is in charge of the engineering department? Hold somebody accountable. Make us hear something.
My God.
But the thing is that even if they say something, what difference does it make? Are you going to hear next week another incident? And they just all say, I apologize.
And then where does it end? Because when you listen, so when you listen to the authorities, it's like everything copacetic. when they finish listing out all of the statistics that they're doing good here and dude, it's like, you said to yourself, okay, the statistics being read now have nothing to do with the woman who died a couple of days ago and the woman who died the other day and the man that died the other day and so forth. So how come the statistics them look so good, but yet we have so much people dying every day? And no, not just dying, but they had the ability to live longer, but they died prematurely because of the hospital's lack of something. How is that?
Look at this one.
We just
I don't follow those reports, because oftentimes you have to look at what's happening on the ground. Because especially like I'm at Falmouth Hospital, near Falmouth, where my family lives. And everybody knows that when you go there, if it's serious, you're not sure if you're gonna make it out.
Jesus.
Because how they treat people. And people shouldn't have that fear of not wanting to go there.
To the hospital, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just ask Daddy.
We were talking about the COVID case where the minister said, if you have COVID or you have symptoms of COVID, call first. Call.
The minister never says symptoms of COVID. The minister said if you're sick, you must call.
Call first.
So don't bother tell no news on the poor man.
True. Call first.
That he did say you're to call through first. On the matter of Michelle's community, Falmouth Field Hospital to start admitting COVID patients tomorrow. So as of tomorrow, if you're sick with COVID, you can go down to the field hospital.
I don't think because that's how it works. Remember, you have to call ahead. That's not how it works.
Sorry.
You can't just go.
You can't just go. You have to call ahead. You have to make that appointment.
There's nothing called emergency. You can't go. Okay.
No, I didn't realize yesterday we had significant jump in the number of cases. You saw it, Michelle? 500, the new daily cases in Jamaica. A record 527 yesterday.
So, all right. How much them a test? Still 550 a day?
Wow.
Because I'm soon max out the daily testing. Right? So they need to increase that daily because the numbers aren't looking good.
Well, the numbers don't jump.
And the vaccine not here yet,
I know.
I think it's coming in a few days. But it's gonna jump now because I'm not sure if you saw in the news where this mother died and her daughter is in the ICU, where they were in a taxi and somebody sneezed.
Wow.
And as I say, with public transportation, people don't have any choice.
Right.
They're gonna have a lot of instances of
So they got it because the person sneezed in a taxi?
Yeah, I guess that's what they're linking it to. So the mother died, the daughter is battling for her life. So people don't really take it serious with the mask wearing and they're having their parties, which, I understand people want to be free. But they have to take it serious because the number is going to keep rising.
Yeah.
And as you see, the system is already exhausted. So.
I mean, for us to get 527 in one day, that's a lot of numbers for Jamaica. You know what it means? Listen, if you can extend those numbers out based on the amount of cases tested, and look at those samples versus the rest of the population, those numbers are huge. Huge. It means that there are a lot of people with COVID in Jamaica. Whole heap.
Mm-hmm. Anywhere between.
It's a lot, and a lot of people are getting tested.
40% already have it. I will get it.
I'm not happy about that at all, because and is the curfew helping?
And the thing is that people think the vaccine.
We're not hearing you. We're not hearing you clearly. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So everybody think the vaccine is going to save, because even when you have the vaccine, it doesn't mean everything goes away. You still have to wear your mask. You still have to sanitize. And people can still get infected based on the report. So it's not a saving. It will ease it, but it's not the save, like a savior coming to save us with this COVID. So people still have to practice what they're doing, social distance, sanitize, wear your mask. and double up on the mask as a
And
requirement.
rolling out is going to be slow anyway. It's not like, it's not like we're going to get to the entire 2 million, 2.8 million in 2 months,
Exactly. And the hurdle is that are not going to take it. So that's
Say that again?
a lot of the hurdle. Another hurdle is that a lot of people
People
are not
going to, yes. A lot of people are going to fear, have this fear because it's being spread. What's the other
I sound low?
Hmm?
Do I sound low?
No, you were, but you're all right now. Where's the other article, Dianna?
Well, I was going to tell you about cricket. I was hoping to tell you that we would have won, the West Indies won both, but no, we won one of the T20 to level the series.
Is that supposed to be an article to uplift our spirits or something like that?
Yes.
Me couldn't tell you last me listen to cricket.
West Indies winning again, and Pollock licked six in 1 over. You never see that. Every ball the man bowled to him in the over was a 6. Cheer up.
Who's that?
Pollock.
I mean, I know names, so. But all I know is Merle McPherson says, good morning. I love watching your program. I am planning on coming back to Jamaica to live, but some of the feedback I'm getting from the Jamaica news, friends and other, are very worried about, she's very worried about violence. I mean, me too. Me too, right?
Violence is everywhere.
In the middle of COVID, we still have to be worried about violence.
Yeah, the gunman, they're in a competition with COVID.
Oh, Jesus, that's not a nice thing to say.
I would still encourage her to come back to Jamaica. There are still pockets of civil behavior.
Yeah.
And
that's not a good word. That's not good. You say pockets.
But that is true. There are still pockets of civil behavior.
So by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dianna Davis is in Jamaica.
Yes.
Okay, right now she lives there, and then Michelle is in Florida, and I am in Florida. So Dianna is still okay. And she's saying pockets.
There are lots of us who are still okay in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to come back, yes, come back to Jamaica. It's your passion. You want to come back to your homeland, come. I'm not saying no. Just be careful. Just be mindful. Just as careful as if you were in London.
Yeah.
Just as mindful as if you're walking the streets of Italy. Them going to pick your pocket. Then pick your pocket here too. But just be careful. So don't harp back to the era where you grew up, in which you grew up, where everybody was looking
different time.
Interest.
Yeah, different time.
It's a global dilemma. It's not a Jamaica dilemma. It's a global thing. It perhaps pains our hearts more because we have back to Jamaica that we know when neighbors looked out for each other and people were mindful of their children, and you could beat somebody, picnic, and send them home, and it was okay. But it don't exist now.
Because I was telling somebody yesterday, I don't remember who I was talking to, when my mom, we moved into our own home after being in a tenement yard for many, many years. When we moved into our own home, she was making this big house, and only 2 room was semi-complete. When you say semi-complete, it had the roof, but we never have no door nor nothing. Right? We live in that house there for probably a year or 2 without a door.
Without a main door?
Without a main door. Breeze would just come through and just nighttime. Yes. And but we never fear nobody that anybody will come and hurt us. Anybody coming to the house because they probably want something to eat or something to borrow. not to hurt anybody, but you couldn't do that now. This was back in the 70s.
Whoa, that's amazing. You had your own central air.
Our own central air. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. We never had.
You grew up with central air system, but you never.
So Dianna, would you say the government is doing its best right now? I'm sure you're going to say yes to that because it's the appropriate thing to say. Is the government doing its best now to curb COVID, to curb crime, Is it a bad question?
I think it's
I
a
could,
bad question.
I
You're
could plead
getting
the
her in
fifth for.
trouble right there.
Well, don't answer then.
No, and I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer. I believe that the government, by their own competence, is making effort to make the society sufficiently aware of what they need to do. Whether or not there's compliance or there's an enforcement of the rules that have been outlaid is a totally different ballgame. I believe that the opposition has been very dutiful and good in terms of keeping the government on their toes about the COVID and the health issues, because their spokesperson on health has been consistent with them and has been at them, keeping them on them toes about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
Can
I
we do
like.
better? We can do better.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I agree. Like with the opposition, no, I like that they're on them and their suggestions are good suggestions that can actually help and actually. And I see along the way where they have implemented some of the suggestions. They might fight back, but they do implement them after a while, those suggestions. So I like this new opposition that, well, keeping them on their toes. But with COVID, this is a new ball game.
It's a different kind of ball
You're
game.
learning as you go. You're learning as you go.
It's and it's something that we have not had a chance to address anytime in the recent past, or and so it's come upon us, and we have to adjust, drastically adjust. And here comes, I saw a big thing in France. I don't know how true this is, but people in France trying to fight back against being restricted. They want to come out now. They want to come out now. I saw Texas releasing the whole idea of restriction. They said they're not restricting anybody. They want to go on out and go do on no master, no restriction on mask.
Yeah.
And
But
so
the downside that Texas is, not to cut you off, it's not that they're blaming immigrants and saying the immigrants are going to cause COVID outbreak when they relax their rules, which I don't appreciate. They're always blaming immigrants. That would be a downer. But they're allowing people to do whatever they want. I live in Florida. We do what we want. But
I believe that that's a political thing.
yeah.
Somebody has to use something political to come back. But I think it's, me personally think that's irresponsible for them to release the restrictions. You don't have to wear any mask. You don't have to go back to business. There's no social distancing. That kind of thing is quite irresponsible. And I think we're gonna feel
reckless.
Yeah, we're reckless.
It is.
And we can't do that at Jamaica, because as you see, the numbers have risen really high, and it's the highest it has been since this COVID thing. And I don't know, what would they say if we say go back to no more social distancing? You can go back to school. Go back to school. Go back to church. Go on to church. We would be in a whole heap of trouble.
But some still go to
Yeah,
church.
we would. But the thing is that they just need to have, even if you're saying like reopen school, they have to have policies and things in place for this to happen.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. They don't have a system set up.
I think that
right.
we had worked and craft some policies for the education sector. The Ministry of Health would come in and inspect the institutions, make sure that you have all the stations, the sanitization station put in place, be using the products that you need to use. Students would come, you would observe the distance, the 6 foot between students at minimum, everybody wearing their mask. I think that we had sufficient and reason.
Yeah, but the thing is that they have that
pastor?
in place for school, but they didn't have that in place for the parents that actually go to work and are not social distancing.
Right, so why
So those
punish the
parents,
children?
remember,
The schools and the
so they have to
institutions
do.
are doing their thing. Why punish the students? Is one
Yeah,
year
but the
no school,
parents
don't
are
learn
being infected. Yeah, but the parents are being infected and infecting their children who are going to school to infect other students. So they should have done an overall mandate for everyone to do it.
Have you guys seen the pastor? Have you guys seen the pastor? The pastor who was arrested this week?
She coming online?
Yeah.
She's coming online. Have you seen that
Oh,
there was a
that's what I'm saying.
pastor who was arrested this week for not observing the protocols?
I
And
love to
Yeah,
hear
she
her
was yelling again in the
was
police officer's
yelling.
face. Very
Exactly.
disrespectful. And
Yeah.
the Bible says you're
Pastor.
supposed to respect law and order. The Bible specifically tells the church members to respect law and order. I don't remember the chapter in the Bible, so I don't know how she went against that.
Oh Lord.
Lastly,
I'd love to hear her thoughts though, because I'd love to understand why she thought it was okay, and if she have any remorse
I
about
wonder if she have some, like how these pastors after a while think they're above God and they have the followers like
yeah,
following them and
demigod.
they're demigods. So I
Leo,
wonder
Leo
if that's it.
lost.
Yeah, look like Leah lost.
I wonder if
You know, last man, me there. I sometimes some of these actions are driven by money. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're pretending to that it is actually God given and God send, but it actually having to do with they are losing monies from not having people in their churches, so they have to make a big stink, and that's not setting the right example for their congregation, for the rest of the country. A pastor who's going against the law is you don't do that. You don't do that.
And if we're irresponsible of her, we're trying to curb this. And she was spit. Did you see the video? Spitting in the officer's face.
Yes, yeah.
The officer
They need to.
charged her for assault.
Because I don't go to the wall to see all of these things. I just miss everything. What's wrong with me?
What the name of the wall again? Michelle, what the name of the wall where you go and get these things?
Pink wall.
Yeah, pink wall. You don't got a pink wall? People, you don't got a pink wall?
Pink wall. Can pink wall lady come here and talk to us? Whatever made her.
I don't think she wants to expose herself.
Oh, so
It's like a gossip, like you're sending the information.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a good side because you see, like when things happen immediately, like accident, death, see it in the regular news.
To them.
Yeah, or they complain against, like the other day, they complain about something happening in a hospital. So people like sent in the information that they wanted help. And usually they try to tag the different ministers, Jamaica Sabra, who sometimes address the issue.
Okay.
A topic that you didn't talk about, sorry, that I'm waiting to be talked about. I'm not sure if you saw the article with the children Ministry of Education and that children organization. Did you see that article?
Oh yes. No, I just figured.
I think she's sleeping on the job. I think Dianna is sleeping on the job. What do you think? I think she's sleeping on the job.
Fire me. Follow me, make me call me lawyer Michelle. Fire me now.
Yeah. So the pastor gone to jail. Lord of mercy.
Because usually we do three articles. So I didn't keep that one. That's the one about the gentleman who works for the Child Protective Services. And Leo says pure sad news. Something about I want to read no more.
I want to hear it. We do the sad news because that's all we are about these days. We can't bother no more. We can't stop the sad news from coming. Because as soon as I open my Facebook at that time.
I don't have it, but let me try to find it. You have the article, Leo?
No, I don't. I was looking to see if I see it. Is it one with the CPSA, right? CPSA. Yeah.
Where?
I don't see it. Yeah. But give us some idea about what it was again, Michelle, because I don't remember what it was at all.
There's this organization that works with the ministry, which have raised funds for the
ministry. Yes. This guy. Let me do it. Okay. So there is a guy in America that has a contract with the ministry, the Child Protective Services, since 2007. Now, here's the good thing.
Jamaica Child Protection and
he's
Family.
been raising $100,000 every year to for Jamaica and stuff. But in 2016, the government in the United States took away his license to practice, right? Because he was found with some child. What is it, pornography? Am I saying the right thing here, Michelle? Help me out
But
here.
he was communicating with a child and was sending him or
Ah,
her. They didn't say
yes.
like suggestive
Yeah.
emails.
Sexual emails and texts and so forth. Yes. And so they took his license away. And Jamaica got into relationship, never said anything, then do them homework and them in a relationship with somebody who on a license.
But they said that I could have read it wrong, but I think on Nationwide they said they were aware of the conduct.
Oh,
They were aware of it.
Oh my
Who
God.
says that they were aware?
Yeah,
So this
they
is
were
article.
aware.
It was posted on the 3rd of March. Checks conducted by Nationwide News has confirmed that Jamaica's Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, has been partnering with a US-based nonprofit organization whose founder and executive director's education certificate was suspended in the US after it was established he had sexually inappropriate exchanges with a minor.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
And then it went into
But
the
yeah, but they came back, the ministry came back and said they are not severing their relationship
Oh.
with, like, even despite this.
So hold on. This is someone who is proven to have had inappropriate relationship with a child, and they're dealing with our child protective services, right? Is that what you're saying to me? And they're not severing the relationship. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, based on another report, not from me, another report. So that to me is my opinion, not the opinion of anybody else. To me, if you're working directly with children, you have to make sure these individuals are safe. You have to do thorough background check of these individuals and not get them close to children. So I want to know, I would have to know what capacity is he working in directly with? Is he in direct contact with the children? If he's not, then it's fine, I guess, to use his resources. But I don't know what relationship.
I'm throwing out the baby with the bathwater on that one. I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
I am
But
so
it is
sorry.
what him and then, but the thing is he associated with it, like we don't know much
I don't
because
care. To
The
me,
executive director for the organization that we are trading with.
yeah, the
yeah.
organization, but not
But
him.
the
If he's not
executive director.
involved,
How we know he
yeah,
must come to Jamaica? Who?
Here's Janice.
that's what I'm saying.
Janice Jackson says, why would you want to be associated with a person who has been found guilty of such perversion?
Not him. Let me be clear. Not him. His organization. If he's not involved in it directly anymore or anything, I'm okay.
But he is involved with it. It's his
That's what
organization.
I'm saying.
And they said that there was something on there that says that he built a school. Did I read that right?
Yeah, and
he built a school.
and leasing land.
And yeah, so I mean, he has to be a no man. That baby they gone. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, they cannot associate with him per se, but that's the thing, Jamaica. And how many weeks now we have been doing these different events of Jamaica not doing thorough background check of these people that they're hiring. They're not properly vetting these people.
Too often.
Often, and that's the problem.
Well, we have some people says, Algenia says, no associate, guilty, no, proven guilty.
Well, he was proven guilty. But to me, the government, the ministry should have waited before making a statement. They maybe should have done what they always do and say it's under review.
But what happened is that he's bringing us $100,000 US every year to the island. That's the difference.
I know.
We sold.
Well, everything
we sold to the highest bidder.
I'm just saying to
All
you
right.
that
There's another article.
Bunny Wailer died.
Yes, Bonnie Wailer died, and we spoke about marijuana, freeing it up, and all of that.
Jesus.
Yes.
There was an
Lisa
article.
went.
Oh my God. Something is wrong with this picture. It's like the small man put himself at jail for the past 40 years, get beat up, get them dreadlocks cut off, and get totally abused by police officers and the government. And then all of a sudden, they have no recompense, right? That's one thing. No part to play in how ganja gets produced, manufactured, and shipped out of our country for dollars, economic reasons, legal economic reasons.
Yeah, but the thing is that did you listen to Lisa Anna's contribution?
I heard her. Yeah, and I like the fact that she says she said ganja because I put the word that, right? Okay.
Yeah. It was a strong advocacy for it, and I hope they listen and listen to the people, the majority of the people.
You know how long Rastaman has been persecuted for these things? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how long. I remember reading in 1963 when Bustamante sent out police officers to go to Coral Gardens, pick up the Rastaman them and tell him, say, yes, he said, dead or alive. And he says, cut off their locks and put them in jail. And that's what happened. And it's because them a Rastaman a smoke ganja. And the man them whose field got burned down, who got kicked and beaten and battered by police officers for ganja. And they got
trying
by the side of the street.
Yeah, and they're still trying to do it because look how many times we see them burning down their fields and locking them up same way. Remember last week they burned down their field.
Yes. The Minister of Industry and Commerce cited in Friday's paper on that article, ganja trade may leave Jamaica behind. It's consistent with what you have just vented about, Leo. You almost sound like a preacher there.
They're upset about it. Free up the ganja.
Very upset about it. I think the people who have been persecuted are the people who are first to be rewarded.
And that's sad. Other people coming in making money, and the same people who are starting not making the money.
And I did I read where the Marleys?
Yes.
Do you have that article to read where the Marleys have this major contract with this major organization, and it means that everybody else get cut out? We have a problem with that.
The Marleys, corporate America, and the Jamaican government hurting Jamaica marijuana farmers. As marijuana continues to be legalized state by state in the United States, there is little doubt that we are now looking at the green gold. A new green economy is coming that will do for some states and countries what gold did for California and oil for Texas. If poor Jamaicans were dreaming of taking part in the pending lucrative weed economy, they can pretty much say goodbye to those dreams. Those dreams were shattered when an American private equity firm led by a team of white, Yale and Harvard educated people who are as un-Rasta as possible.
Oh God.
That they had made Bob Marley the face of the world's first cannabis brand. The deal struck between the Marley estate and corporate America represents a bitter pill to swallow for many Jamaicans. It's a galling double whammy for many who had pinned their hopes of harnessing two of Jamaica's most bankable cultural legacies, Bob Marley and ganja, to keep the island afloat. For many in Jamaica, a country desperate to revive its battered economy, the announcement by Privateer Holdings are aimed to make Marley the Marlboro man of marijuana was like watching their nation's golden goose dust itself off, flap its wings, and head off over the horizon to America, or as Bob Marley himself called it, the land of pure devilry.
But I I I I don't want. I would like us to move Marley away from ganja. That's two totally separate business, right? Marley.
No, but in this article here is one.
I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. But I'm saying by putting Marley there is like all of the Grammy Awards just go to the Marleys. That's how it look. Every year, Marley's right there with nominees, right there with winning Grammy. Same thing are gonna happen with ganja. Once we start putting Bob Marley and ganja together, nobody else no matter.
But that's what the article is saying, that the average Jamaican, nobody else, he's becoming the image and all things
Unfair.
with Bob, with Marley and the Marley estate. The next article related.
Well, the man not go put an article yet unless it have something to do with this ganja thing here, because it is infuriating to know that no, I'm serious. It's infuriating to know that these people have been beaten down, put in prison. You know how much people got prison for have one little tat a weed in them hand? You know how much people's property burned down because them used to take helicopter, go shoot down fire, bomb people weed field. You know how much money spent in a burn down a Rastaman field, and a beat him up and a kick him up and like him another human being, and they're gonna be left behind. They have been fighting for this for the longest time. Legalize the weed, legalize the herb. You know how long they've been trying to get this done? Legalize it. This is 1974. Yeah.
I hope you know you go broke out in that singing. How did I know? How did I know?
I'll read one more article, Leo. It says,
all right.
Ganja train may leave Jamaica behind, and this is by Minister Shaw. Jamaica may be left behind because it has failed to seize the opportunities of the emerging medical marijuana industry, Anthony Hilton has said. The opposition spokesman on industry competitiveness and global logistics has described the performance of the Cannabis Licensing Authority as disappointing. Hilton's characterization of the agency tasked to establish and regulate Jamaica's legal ganja and hemp industry resonated with Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister Audley Shaw. So Shaw is agreeing here again with the opposition's position about. So he says, I agree with you, Shaw said in response to Hilton during Thursday's sitting of the Standing Finance Committee. If we don't, and quote, he continues, if we don't move and move with alacrity, this train is going to leave us, Shaw said, noting that there were markets as far as Israel that wanted Jamaica's cannabis. That is your ganja. So there's no question that the CLA has been suboptimal in its performance, Shaw said. That is the Cannabis Licensing Authority. However, the Industry and Investment Minister told his colleagues in Parliament that the CLA was now undergoing a review and important changes are now taking place in the public body.
Well, that was a lot. What can be done though? These farmers need to join.
Let me tell you something. There's a
bigger entity.
A license is required to farm and we call it export. And some people who apply for license, them never see weed yet. Them never see it in front of them yet. They have the money because the government make it very, very difficult for a small man to get a license to operate. You have to have enough money.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They need to form a group, organize themselves, and get their funding together and go for these licenses because they're not knowledgeable, most of them actually, on getting it done. Hire somebody that's versed on it, so they're gonna have to invest in it to get it done.
No, but Leo is right, Michelle. It's a matter of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they organize it and
They
get
don't have money. They don't, even if they organize, they don't have money.
But
We're talking about Jamaican farmers. We're talking about Jamaican farmers.
Yeah, but they can't get investors though. They can't get investors. Trust me, you have people who will come here and invest in these small farmers to grow the ganja.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me,
I don't
market themselves.
We have to find a way. We have to find a way, Michelle, how to empower the people who are doing the farming. We have to find a way how to empower them. Even if we, as the Jamaican government, form the cooperatives, right?
Exactly.
Make sure that they become a part of these cooperatives, but we can't depend on anybody outside of our country to do this. We want the government to be able to put these small farmers to work so that they work legally and be able to manufacture and export the product that they have. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the thing is that if the government is not going to do it, they're going to have to do it themselves and figure out a way. And by forming these organizations with themselves as young farmers, that's what's been done all over the world. They need to form themselves as a group, a bigger group, and all of them work together. Whether they contribute funds towards it, hire an attorney, hire somebody who's familiar with the legislator that can help them to get these contracts and figure it out, and they just pay to the system, and then they'll be able to export, and they can attract investors because you have people from all over the world that will come and invest.
I think that there are groups there. Yeah, man, I think that there are groups there already. That I don't know that they're in everybody's independent. I think that there are ganja farmers with groups, a lot of groups, small groups that are already there. But we don't set up the system so that they become beneficiaries of their own product. We set up a system so that people with money buys license, pays for license to do this stuff. And that's where has always been our problem. It's the same thing with in our own agricultural system. We have 250,000 farmers in Jamaica, and they can't make their headway because there's big companies that buy big lands, and hotels just want to do business with big farmers, and then the small farmers will always remain small farmers, whether they are cooperatives or not.
Yeah, but that's the thing you're missing. If the system is keeping you out, this is always my opinion about life. If the system is keeping you out, you have to kick down the door. They have to do what needs to be done. Get it done. We can't sit back and say, oh, the government is not doing this, not doing it. It's not. They need to do it. They need to fight. They need to be a part of this market. We cannot sit back every year and say, oh, yeah, the government has to do this. They need to fight. They need to organize and get it done. If the government leave them out,
any farmers out there, because we have an attorney right here. Any group of farmers out there, we have an attorney right here. You know, Dianna.
I don't do the marijuana, but I know attorneys who do it.
Dianna, I think I'm going to send the helicopter down there your property now. Dianna, I'm serious. It can't just be the.
Hold on, my five. Everybody gets 5'3". You see how they black by that.
But that's the thing, you know. We keep saying we're relying on the government, and we keep saying the government isn't doing.
But you can't do without the government.
But
Yes,
the thing
but
is that, yeah, we can do it, but we can find someone that
Yeah.
figure it out. That's why people use attorneys. A lot of people can navigate the system, but I use attorneys to figure it out and how to get it done. Like when I deal with my clients, I just tell you I get it done and I tell you what I need to get it done, and you work together. So they have to put the money in and get it done and stop, sitting
Poor
back.
I need ISAT on the show too.
yeah, Michelle, you're right when you say that they need to come together and they need to
Yeah.
now kick down the doors. But there's so many instances in recent time of small farmers occupying plots of lands for ages, and somebody else comes along and gets it either to purchase or on a lease for a longer period, and the small farmer gets knocked off.
Yeah.
Not because he has not applied, not because he's not sought to regulate himself over the years, but he is a small man without money. And that is just the bottom line. The small farmers are oftentimes not that they don't form themselves into groups or they don't want to regularize their operation. They're just not facilitated or enabled.
They're not. They're not enabled.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
what I'm saying, but
enabled.
that's what I'm saying. I need to figure out and sort it out because you have a lot of info. But I agree with it because even the other day, like I had a client and I was surprised when she said she had a lot, a lot. Those properties that you said, like somebody owns it, and she went in to get the title for it. For years, her family live on this land, they're paying and everything. And when they go in, they told her that they don't own the land.
Yeah.
This organization has always been paying and doing what they need to do for this land. Like although they were going in and trying to get, and all she needed was her title, and found out that this other company had this title. They live near the boxing land in St.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. I
And that's
think
who she
that
found out.
it's an issue that a lot of persons in our country don't get to own land. They capture land, right? And there's I don't know the laws too much, but there's something that if you pay taxes and you
Yeah.
use it and work it for a while, you get a chance to get your thing. But it takes a long time to get a title.
It's the crown
Yeah,
land that
but
you
yeah,
occupy,
but not
crown
even
land,
that.
after 60 years of occupation
60.
on crown land. But if it is your land, so if you, Leo, have a piece of land, or you, Michelle, have a piece of land, and I go squat on it for 12 years, and nobody don't call me up for no rent, nobody don't come and say,
Yes.
what you doing on this, nobody
Yeah.
don't do this,
Yeah,
then
I
I can
Yeah.
personally.
occupy it for 12 years.
Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
government land that is longer.
Here's
Yeah, and that's the
here's some
thing,
thoughts. Let me just read
not to
some
cut
thoughts
you off.
here. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say one thing I've noticed though is that a lot of people, like their family member died and left the land, but they're not there. And then you have other major companies go in and pay the title on these land and
Yes.
take it away from these people, which is kind of wrong and sad that
Agree.
they do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's wrong
Go
answer.
ahead.
Here, I want to take some thoughts. There are some people writing here. Hortense Palmer says, but the small farmers are sometimes their own worst enemies. They watch what their other farmers are doing. Then they will say their neighbors are holding them down. They need to come together. Results are found in numbers. That's what Michelle is saying. Jenny says, I tried to get farmers together in Jacks River, St. Mary. For so many reasons, it just didn't work. There's so much power in numbers, but to find the core group is a challenge. She also says no one is going to save Jamaica except for Jamaica. You guys are preaching to the choir. Here are some other persons. Miss Kerson, Algenia Kerson says, I got to go. Muchas gracias. Veronica Garzong says,
Bilingual.
eh?
Bilingual.
Veronica Garzong Rose says the Jamaican government need to take over the country and not let other countries come in and take over. The little man who grow their ganja should be able to make a living off of their growth. We are losing everything to other countries. Someone just said that we can't blame the Marleys for making a deal. And I mean, I don't disagree.
That's true.
I don't disagree with that. But the other part of it is that where are the small farmers? Where are the small farmers? Where are the plan for the small farmers? Right? And so, because I can see if I get such a big deal, my first thing is I am going to buy 200 acres of land and just start plant up my own herb to provide my own thing, you know. And any little man who can provide me with a liquor gap filling opportunities here and there, then that would happen. But the thing is, think about it for a minute. I want to control my own crops. Just like the hoteliers do, they want to control the amount of goods that they get every week from farm products. And they're not going to the small man for it. They're going to the man who have the big farm and know that them can. But nobody is putting together anything that can allow the small farmers to come together, and because they don't have the ability to do it. They're farmers. They don't necessarily have the ability to go out and create the networks.
Not the ability, Leo. They don't have the resources.
Or the resources. Well, same thing.
They don't have access to capital at the level that other people have access to.
But I tell you, trust me, if they come together and organize, and they say they're from Jamaica, they will get investors. Trust me.
I don't know how possible that is. Just
trust me.
Yeah, I know, man. But
Jamaican weed.
In order for ever go up on a weed plantation yet? It take whole heap of care, you know. Because you can't make a wild bud grow up on a tree, you know. It have a pick. It have a pick. And you have all of it.
Listen to me. People will buy the weed.
Me have what?
Are you a frustrated small marijuana producer?
I am not going to answer that question because I fear it might cause somebody might have carried me down a jail. All right, okay, me now answer that question.
But listen to me, Leo. Yes. If a group form and say they are Jamaican ganja farmers, they will get investors. Trust me, it will be the best ganja on the market. You know, ganja is in everything, even for cancer treatment. You have oil treatment, you have for pain, the hemp what they put in oil for if you have pain, you know, arthritis pain. They have it for different things. So trust me, if Jamaica wants to get it done, these farmers, they need to jump ahead and start looking out for themselves. Because these bigger companies are going to come in and take it.
Michelle, I am going to take your word for it. I am going to take your word for it.
Organize.
I want for us to invite somebody from the Cannabis Licensing Authority to come and explain to us what is the premise on which an individual can obtain a license for the farming and for the farming, the growing of marijuana, and also for the sale of it. Because I came across somebody who operates a small scale farm, but she said that she can't sell it. So what's the point?
Because it's illegal to sell.
But she
doesn't have the license. In order for her to sell that, she has to have the license to sell. And the license costs a lot of money and it's like a rigmarole.
It don't make sense to me that you give me a license to grow it and I can't sell it. So what am I going to do with it?
Well, you know, there's some problems here in America too, you know. Because some of the people who have a whole heap of money, millions of dollars are going on in the ganja trade up here, right? The legal medicinal thing. But the banks now take the cash.
Right.
Yeah, they can because it's still federal law. It's still illegal.
It's federal
level.
To do with it.
Yeah,
on the federal level, it's illegal.
Federal level, it's illegal, and bank operates on a federal law. And so since they can't accept the cash inside of the bank, you know, so there's a lot of problems. Here's someone else, Bishop PD. This is the gentleman from London. He says, many small farmers have not much in resources and the background knowledge to cooperate. Ganja farmers used to be organized, but the government makes it become a crime.
For them to organize?
I'm not so sure that the organized thing.
Somebody from the Cannabis Licensing Authority to come and explain to us what is the process for the small man to participate, and what are the opportunities?
Anybody from the Cannabis Authority out there can please come on the show and come clear up this thing here for you, because
Anybody know anybody who live there, work there, or anybody there?
Or anybody who know anybody who work at the Cannabis Authority, you're telling them say they're welcome to come on the show next week. Tuesday night or Saturday night.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, maybe. Yeah. I mean, you can tell some upset, right? You can tell some upset about this thing here.
Yeah, man, you're really upset.
Yeah.
You want to invest some money?
He said,
What is it that, what, no, tell me, what make it is that?
Put the money. You upset, put the money there and help them. Use your resources and help them out.
All of my dreadlocks gone as a result of it, you know, of you know.
You can scrape off your head.
Exactly, scrape off the.
You know, it happened to one of my uncles though. You know that time from Montego Bay when he tell us a story or they capture him and cut off his locks.
They did? Oh my God.
Still around, Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's still around.
No, man, we want to make him tell us that story.
Let me tell you one thing.
my mom, but it's the Coral Gardens. They'll set a Rasta in the
That's
hills.
1963. Yeah, that was when Bustamante ordered Dead or Alive, Rastaman Dead or Alive.
I don't know, but yeah, they cut off his lock.
Survivor. That's
them go to prison. Actually, the government actually came back a couple of years ago. I remember the Prime Minister Holness made an announcement about was it him who made an announcement about some, you know, giving back some money to the family.
Repatriation?
Yeah, I think Portia was doing something.
That's not repatriation. What do you call that again?
The Honorable Portia Simpson was doing something too.
No, man, she didn't. It was in this. It was in this. It's a couple of years ago. Let me see.
Was there any money given though?
Yes, there was a couple of $100,000 were given somewhere. What do you call that kind of giving back there? Money.
Compensation.
No compensation, man. They call it something else. Come on, man.
But I think what I was talking about with Portia, she was giving them back the land. Pinnacle, what's that place? Pinnacle or something like that?
I know about Pinnacle. Yeah, I know about Pinnacle.
She was giving them back their land that was taken. I remember she was.
Yeah. But I'll find the articles that what's the word? Come on, don't tell me the word, man.
Repatriation, like what? Giving them back?
Don't not give me the wrong word, man. When England supposed to give back money because them slavery for much long time.
No repatriation.
Oh man, no man, repatriation. You get up and go back to another country. It have to do with some kind of.
You're amending for your wrongs by paying money or otherwise helping those who.
We call it repatriation.
Repatriation, yeah.
Reparation. Yes, reparation. The one no make not even one layer. The one can't.
My apologies.
Reparation. Jesus. Oh my God. People who shouldn't help me now. Who are watching are supposed to know. Sure, reparations.
When I speak nothing more.
Somebody said Leah is so passionate. Leah is so passionate about the ganja.
Like, there's a Jamaican saying about you throw the stone in hog pen and who squeal.
Okay, so here it is. It says, finally, the relentless campaign to redress families of Rastafarians injured by the heinous police assault on Coral Garden in 1963 will pay off. After 54 years of denial, contemplation, exchanges in political party leadership and governance, and in the 2017 apology from the current administration, a decision between the government and a group identified as the Rastafari Coral Gardens Benevolent Society reconcile compensation to family survivors and may improve relations between the two entities. In a statement issued by Oliver Grange, Minister of Culture Gender, we have two main obligations: to do what is right and to do it in the right way. Admissions of wrongful police action and the willingness to compensate survivors started what seemed to be reconcilable dialogue to healing. So
That's good.
yeah, that reparation, that's the word.
Did they get compensation?
Compensation, but they call it reparation.
Did they
But
get
did they
money
get
from that?
anything? Was it just a statement?
No,
Or
they
was
said they're
it just,
talking about reparation. Maybe
yeah, but
there's
was it
another
done?
maybe later on it did come up. Let me see if there was an article.
2017, that you
This was
said that was in
2017, and I'm
2017
sure.
started a conversation. So where is the money?
Hold on there. Rastas call for slave reparation. Jamaica and the debate over reparation. 50 years later, Rastafari received justice by human rights. No, government establishes trust for Coral Gardens, 1963. So let me read that one. This is in 2019. That is a better article here. Yeah. Kingston, Jamaica, the trust fund for victims of the 1963 Coral Gardens incident has been established. Trust fund. According to the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Economy and Sports, Portfolio Minister Oliver Grange signed the document on Thursday to officially establish the Rasta Coral Gardens Trust. The ministry said that the trust will be managed by the Administrator General of Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, during the official apology to victims in the 1963 incident. In April 2017, gave the commitment to the establishment of the trust. I'm trying to find. I am humbly, as a representative of the administration, take steps to right a wrong. We acknowledge that for 56 years, you, our Rastafarian brothers and sisters, have lived with the physical, psychological, and emotional scars of the incident of Coral Gardens and the atrocities you experienced over the years. We also know that you feel that successive government have let you down by not sufficiently acknowledging what you have been through. We are taking steps to do that right now. That is absolutely.
How much money? How much money?
Lord have mercy. I saw no a dig boat. After me just done,
I know that you can go to the bank and
yes, the public defender has proposed a trust fund of no less than 10 million Jamaican dollar. That in a 1960 that coming like $10. Eh?
$10 million back in 63 or $10 million no?
No, today, 10 million today, coming like a 10 Jamaican dollars in the 1963. but at least it started. Means that the trust is going to grow. The $10 million is going to grow and grow interest over the years and stuff. And
you know what is the interest rate in the banking sector now, Leo?
2%.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but you see, you're a troublemaker, I know. You are.
Well, could we take a moment to get off track? Could we take a moment?
Go ahead.
I think we're going to run out of time to appreciate all the wonderful women
Oh.
and what contributed to Women's Month. Let's talk about, tell us a story. Why you admire women, your mother? What do you admire?
Well, I can tell you that.
Are you asking the participants to?
I mean, she asked. She said, "My mother." I mean, she talk about. I mean, she address. So why don't you allow me to?
Let me go drink my tea.
First of all, let me tell everybody. I'm going to admit something. When I grow up, and anybody asks me who me married to, me tell them say my mother me married to.
Oh wow.
Okay. All right. But let me tell you this. I have worked very closely with my mother for many years. She was a what we call now higgler. There's another word that they use nowadays. But my mother was a higgler, the original higgler on the North Coast in the 1960s. Okay. Now I went out with her as a young boy every week, walking 9-10 miles, stopping at every home, selling shirts and shoes and perfume and comb and everything. And we had
a department store operator.
We were a department store, a mobile department store operator. and I'm telling you, I respect every tool, every nerve, every vessel in my mother's body. Okay, and I have since I've been on this journey for years, I can only count on probably 10 of my fingers the amount of male presence, male men that I've worked with closely. My charges have always been bundle of women working alongside me. I know how them work hard. I know women to be the strongest of the strong of the two sexes. I know women to be the best planning, the most organized people in the whole world. And I truly believe from the bottom of my heart that in order for this world to be a better place, we have to start putting women in higher positions to make the difference. Because I know, watch ya, may have two right next to me right now. I have two right next to me right now. See? And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? As the chairman of the Jamaica Diaspora Task Force Action Network, okay, the two vice chair sitting right next to me are two ladies that I respect heavily, highly, and one, her name is Michelle Fanger, and the other one is Leslie Ann Samuel. Well, two people that I have the highest regard for. No matter you see me cuss Michelle Pan show ya. All right, anytime I done, me and her a good friend. But no, I have the highest respect for the work ethic, and I've watched a lot of cowboy show. I mean, me see all them mistreat women. Me watch a whole heap of the old show them, and women were nothing. And I watch and read a lot about when women were pieces of paper, pieces of property. And I hate the feeling because I don't like when people mistreat and maltreat other persons who are human beings. And I was happy in 1920 when women got a chance to vote in this country, right? Even though black women did not get the chance and black people still never had the chance to vote, women on a whole got the chance to vote. And I was happy to see Rosa Parks stand up, sit down in the front of the bus and decide, say, him nah go nowhere. Me no care one, no care me go jail. And turn up strong. So I love Michelle Obama because I believe that that's the next president of the United States, that she don't even know that she is the next president of the United States.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Leo. We see
Leo,
your passion. The very passionate. And you see where it come from? His mother played an important role in shaping him. So mothers or roles are very important in how we create these boys who become men and how they treat others, because they do look at you. And speaking for myself, as a woman, my role model is always my mother. As a single mother, I don't know how she did it at a tender age, just a teacher, but she was able to provide for me. I wasn't rich, but I never knew I was poor. She never, and she sacrificed everything. My mother was not able to buy a car until I completed college because every dollar she had went into my education. And every day I asked her, how did she do it on a salary? But she made sure I didn't have any headache whatsoever. She teach me about a lot of things in life, how not to rely on people, so you're less disappointed in life. She always tell me to fight for what you want and go for what you want. Don't let anyone tell you cannot do it. And surprisingly, as I got older, as I said before, she was the one that always told me when I woke up, good morning, Miss World. We know me, I'm not Miss World, but she gave me that confidence and gave me that power to go after what I want and to do what I want. And she surely did everything in her power to ensure that I knew myself as a woman and know what I am as a woman. And she's always my role model.
That's awesome.
Dianna, your time.
All right. I grew up with a mother who was a social worker. Um, she passed in 2016. The skills, the general atmosphere of home was one that you helped. You must always help the less fortunate. But she would instill in us one basic thing, and my cousin and myself we laugh about it every now and again, where she would always tell you it is always the fittest of the fit that shall survive. And she would say things like, you will have a first degree and you can't get a job because there's somebody with other degrees who will get it. Whatever it is that you do, it is always the fittest of the fit. There are some basic principles. You must always share what you have. To my own detriment, she would share my clothes and stuff with or without knowledge. And my knowledge of it was no consent either. Um, it was an open home that allowed for persons to be there at any time they wanted to, as long as you observed and adhered to certain principles, going to church, being respectful. So if you and your parents followed for 2 days and you needed somewhere to stop while she gone out to talk to the parents, she would accommodate you. But you had to go to school. Schooling was important for my mother. Church relationships was important. Being respectful to anybody regardless of their social standing was always important. Don't be disrespectful to anybody. Don't underrate anybody because you think that you're a little bit better off than them or they are less off than you. Don't work with my mother in her house. So she started out in social work, was one of the few first teachers at the Edwin Alwyn Comprehensive High School when that was started, and she was a social worker for Clarendon. She shared a story with me that when independence came around, she was the social worker in St. Elizabeth at that time. And, we talked about that story as well. I miss my mother dearly. The principles of bringing up family, being conscious of your neighbor, being mindful of yourself and exercising self-discipline was just always critical. And I try to emulate that as best and to teach that as I can. Hard.
Thing.
I must tell you,
Mother.
I don't want to stop on a sad note, but over the years, I've surrounded myself with women of great substance, probably not knowingly, but just wanting to make sure that you have a circle of friends that you can rely on. You have a circle of friends that in the middle of the night you can call them and they're not asking you any question. They're
True.
going to just turn up. My best friend, she died in 2016. She died 2 weeks after my mom died, Nicola Scott Bonnick. I could call Nikki for anything at any hour of the night, and she not going to ask any question. She going to just turn up and be on point. If it's somebody to beat, we go and beat them together, and then she going to ask why we must beat them. If it's in trouble, she going to bail you and take you out and go on. No judgment. So the likes of a Nicola Scott Bonnick, Donna Scott Motley, Audrey Marks, Ambassador Audrey Marks, these are people, Beverly Lopez in the private sector organization of Jamaica. My dear friend Dusty Redwood, a retired banker, I met her on my first day at Scotiabank as a banker, and we've remained
Oh,
steadfast friends. You know, we women need circles of women
that's
alone.
true to empower us and to help us grow.
Once
So we
upon a
see why women are important to help solve a lot of problems in society. It's
once upon a
very
time,
important.
I had a friend, a male friend, who told me that it is impossible to have for a man to have a woman as a best friend.
No man, we
Yeah,
must have.
what?
But you know where that thought is coming from. I mean, you know where that thought is coming from. But my best friends, because I have several of them, best friends, are all women. They're the only people that I trust with my whole self and my whole heart. And so one of my first best friend was male, but then my second best friend has been for almost 30 years now, and we can call her name. She named Sharon, and she live in California.
Hi, Sharon.
I never tell you something. If you want somebody who will always say the right things to you, then we aren't going to be friends. If you want someone who's always going to be truthful and honest and make sure that you stand at the right place at all times as a friend, then that's my friend. There's no I'm not supposed to do right or wrong, and she will say that I'm right. She ain't gonna do that. Not So my friends are my best friends are the ones who are always going to be truthful and honest, not even when I'm not looking. Same way.
Yeah, that's true. And it's very important, and I always say that, like, a lot of people, like with my friends, they'll tell me, even if I post a picture on Facebook, they'll be like, Michelle, what you doing? Or if I'm upset about something and, my chain of thought is going one way, they will curtail me in, and, we talk and we reason and we get it. And we like, calm down, think rational. But I'm like, people do need friends or people to encourage them, because a lot of these things are going, I always say they have no friends.
Yeah.
Like each time I see people doing something, that always say that they have no friends to talk to.
So I went to a church. I'm sorry, Dianna. I went to a church about 4 years ago. It's in 2017. I was asked to pick up an award, as a man. And so when I went to, it's a church, and I had to meet with this female pastor before I got to the venue, and she would tell me what's going to happen and so forth. When I went to the church, this was in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, because I was the most uncomfortable person for the whole evening, because this is a church that supported male dominance, manliness, women to stay back, women to be obedient, and women to be. This is in Jamaica, and I threw that award, because they gave me that award. I took it, but it didn't feel good accepting it, and me just threw it away, because to me, I am not going to accept an award with anybody telling me that a woman must be obedient to man and they must be a servant to man. Me not take that, right? I have a problem with that, because I know, listen, I've done a whole heap of studies on the trails and of women in this world. The church is a big part of this thing about women and obedience. Okay, the church is, and I have watched I've read coming all the way up. Property, women being property, go and leave this presence here. This is men talking. No, you're not supposed to be in this conversation. You don't have a vote. You can't sit in the court as a juror. That kind of thing. These are where women are coming from. Okay, so when I see, I don't like when I'm telling you straight off, I don't like when you push womanness in front of me. That, you and I are talking, and, just because you're a woman, I have to, but I'm not into that. Just be a person that can reason, a person that can guide, a person who can be our equal, because that's all I'm asking. Be our equal. Nobody now have to be in front of anybody. You understand? And so I have followed the trail of women, and I love the growth. I love the feistiness. I love when it comes that we know are seeing women making the same amount of money as men, and they're doing the things that men are doing. I love it, because I really truly believe that women are our leaders, and it may change in the future, but right now, if we want a good future, put women in there. Me that.
Thank you so much, Leah. Love your passion. Love your passion.
Yes.
That's what we need for a better world.
You're really very passionate.
Women will solve a lot of the problems we're having right now.
And
Thank you.
Michelle, one of the things that is really important to us as women is to have a circle of friends that we can rely on and to support each other within our families. And I have this aunt who lives in the Bahamas, and just to have her send a voice note to say, "Hi, Angie, how are you doing? Haven't heard from you. Make sure that you're doing this and make sure you're doing that." but you might want to say, oh, but I'm a big grown woman, but she's still checking up on you. And we really appreciate that. We have family all over, and particularly in this COVID era, you need your girlfriends, you need the
Yeah.
females within your family to be checking in with you to say, hi, how you doing?
Yeah,
Hi,
make sure.
Auntie Charm, hi, Auntie Novlet, whoever it is. Just hello.
Did you say
Yeah,
Donna Scott Motley? Did you mention that word, that name earlier, Diana?
Yes, Donna is a very good friend of mine.
She's watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna Scott Motley. How are you? Yvonne Hyde. Yvonne, let me just read some names here of some people who are watching, because it's unfair that we there chat and I ignore the people.
Oh, happy Women's Day when it comes around, Donna, and all your colleagues and friends.
All the women that are watching, and I'm calling your name.
Yes.
Happy Women's Month. Okay. All right.
Here is, but we're celebrating it for the whole month. Yes.
Yeah. Janice Jackson, Norma Cooper, Merle McPherson, Sandra Sterling, Yvonne Hyde, Donna Scott Motley, Pamela Distin. Good day, Pamela. That's my friend from California. Kim Howard, Celine Batiste, Kathy Smith. Is this the Kathy Smith from the Eastern Guyana, from Guyana? Hortense Hellis, Hortense Palmer. Good morning to you, and thank you so much. I think Michelle is watching us too. Michelle Fanger.
Oh, and I have a friend, Monica, and Monica goes to church at this hour, but when she comes back in, she will watch it.
Okay, so, Monica, thank you. I don't know Chris. I don't know Chris Martin. Joy BC. Good morning. Thank you so much. Bless up, Michelle. Mommy was a backbone in your upbringing. Clarice Hudson. Thank you.
Donna, if you could come on and
Daniel, the light. I'm
about her influence.
Huh?
Said I'm gonna try and see if I can get Donna if she's dressed. Donna, would you come on and talk to us about who influenced you and all of that?
Oh, Merle said, Leo, they have a saying that man that looks after his mother would be good husband and a good father.
Not all the time.
Jesus Christ.
No, but Leo's a prime example.
Make her know.
But some of them expect it to be their mother. No, but some of them expect it to be their mother.
Michelle, just bust people bubble.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I bust people bubble. You can't bust people bubble like that. You can't go bust people bubble like that. Sure. Jesus and peace. And for all the men who support their wives and their girlfriends and their friends.
Daughters.
Yeah, man. Respect to you. Paul Kirby. Did Donna Scott Motley answer? The name sound familiar. I kind of know that name.
Like the name keep like. Yeah. Know that name.
Yeah, me know that name there. She important? Don't she important?
Yeah, she's important to me. She's my friend.
Yeah, that's why.
She's our best friend.
She went to college. She's my very.
Joy Dunstan, thank you. Good morning. Merle McPherson, thank you so much. Yeah, man. And so, yeah, Women's Month. I love the idea. There are so many women out there who stand up and stand firm. What anybody, the lady who was on the Supreme Court.
Yes, who died the other day?
Yes, the Speaker of the House. What's your name again?
Nancy
Pelosi. Them that Trang with a T-R-A-N-G, Trang, woman, Trang. Women.
Yeah, they set an example, but I always say to people, like we always look to these women, but sometimes we need to look at. Like I always see people highlighting, it's just my opinion and observation though. Like I always see people highlighting other people that are influencing them, like Michelle Obama. Yes. And I always say to myself, like sometimes you need to look around you, like how I look
absolutely. The people around
other people within us that have inspired us and make a mark on us.
Yeah.
Because for my mom pushing me, even though she's pushing me, and I have to keep saying, woman, I'm a mother too. So,
is that Lillian Evangeline Christian? What a name. Lillian Evangeline Christian. Good morning to you. Yeah, I said that, you'll see my message. I do a message on International Women's Day for Monday, and it's already written, and it will be published, and you get a chance to see it. But let me say this: it's the women around you, we can always call them people, the big people, and then the Nancy Pelosi and Nanny of the Maroons and all of these people, right? But the people who are making the changes are right here next to you, right here next to you.
Families, man, yes.
Yeah, man. And we have to recognize them,
I have a friend who I've had this, my friend Jackie Hilton. She has been my friend since we were in grade 5 in primary school.
Oh my gosh.
And still my friend.
Really nice. Really, really nice.
Like
really
that man.
Well, I can't say that, we had a wonderful morning this morning. It's been so nice to be able to come and deliver this type of vibrant chat session. Is that what we call a chat session, or this is a conversation?
Conversation.
The conversation, yeah. Cause chat make it sound like gossipy, don't?
Yeah.
Don't gossip. Yeah,
conversation. People are gonna take away something.
Well, it's time for us to talk about takeaways. So I hope that Miss Dianna Davis Smith, Dr. Dianna Davis Smith, have our recommendations and our takeaways from this meeting here, and I hope that Michelle Fanger and the people who are watching, please. That you can give us some on a feedback on this morning and tell us what you feel about the session this morning. Sandra says, I don't know all those celebrities, but I know the people in my surroundings, and they are the impactful people. That's nice of you, Sandra Sterling. So you're ready, Dianna Davis Smith?
My takeaway here from today's dialogue conversation, sorry, Michelle, is that our country, Jamaica, needs to address family structure, family support, so that we can treat with the academic challenges within the education sector, so we can treat with the rising levels of criminal activity, perhaps stemming from sheer idleness, that our health sector is dreadfully strained. We never mentioned it, but following, there was an article sometime during the week that showed the ministry recognizing 900 and something nurses and practitioners within the industry. I suppose after having lost 70 of them, it's time to recognize the others before they go.
What a way to put that, Dianna. Oh my God.
It was just perhaps coincidental, but the recognition of persons is important. But the bigger story in it for me is that they recognized that they needed to acknowledge and celebrate individuals to keep things going. As we look to Women's Day, that we will continue to just celebrate each other with a genuine love and affection for the next person and the next person's well-being, that we will celebrate our family members, our neighbors, our friends, and even those people who we don't like so much, that you would just simply celebrate them, to give them the assurance that they need to say, hey guy, it's going to be okay. You do your part, I do my part, it's going to be a better world. I thank you, Leo, for the passion that you show towards women, your passion towards the ganja farmers too.
Ganja.
Your passion towards us as women and your kind words towards us. We thank you. We appreciate it. We expect to see the chocolate along with the other things delivered on Monday. But
yes, and the flowers.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you very much. It's as always a great pleasure to be here.
Michelle, I'm afraid to call your name because me know say something feisty I gonna come out right now, and me,
No, we're just gonna end on the high note. I'm glad we got to women and how we're gonna celebrate women for this month. And even though during the week we like those out there listening, all the listeners, show some appreciation for the women in your life. You could buy a rose, give them a call, do something, because women are truly the backbone of our society, our homes. And as you see, as Dr. Davis said earlier, they are going to play a vital role, especially in Jamaica, in bringing down these issues that we're having relating to crime and education. They are important, so we should celebrate them and embrace them. And make sure you have a circle around you to embrace and help guiding you. And just continuation appreciation. And it was a lovely show today. And remember that even the ganja farmers, as I've said before, like the government, they can do their part, but if they're not, you have to take up the mantle and do your part for yourself. And enjoy the rest of the week. Welcome.
Yeah, Diana said something really critical that we might have a 1-minute discussion on, because I truly believe that is the breakdown of the nuclear family that cause a lot of our pervasive problems that we're having. Yeah, there are too many women out there with children by themselves. There are too many broken families, and broken families that end up in somebody getting hurt and violent, breaking up and all that stuff that's not necessary, because families can be apart, husband and wife can be apart and still have good relationship for their kids, right? I noticed that marriage is no longer the in thing, right? And I'm not asking people to be married, but if you don't have kids, be kind to each other and make sure that there is relationship going between you and the mother and you and the father, so that there's some kind of model being set for those kids to grow up in an environment that they know they have people in the back of them that they can support them. So that family unit, whether it be married or unmarried, separated, or just man have a baby without, it is important that those two parents are involved in the lives of the kids, because that makes a difference.
It does. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's true, Leo. That's really so true.
Well,
I really want to celebrate you, Leon. We'd probably just make you an honor woman and
honorable one.
Honorable woman. You want to make me an honorable woman?
Honorable woman. Oh, God.
But I think that we all must do something silly for ourselves.
Actually, I expected that from Michelle, not you, Diana. Okay.
We're becoming one. That's what family does,
Jenny says families have broken down. Then families don't know how to work together. Not a quick fix, I must say. That's true.
Yes,
Right,
but some examples. It's not a quick fix indeed, but whilst we're one willing to help somebody else, is a start.
Yeah.
If I'm willing to guide somebody who, rather than look at it and say that woman, that girl, we're going to say the woman, that girl not raising her picnic them right. But what about my helping that girl to raise her picnic them right? So we need to be willing to help. We need to just care a little bit more. Just care.
Just, even if there's a squaddy in the middle of it, it's okay.
No, it's okay. Even if Scotty, with all his competencies and skills, exists in the middle of it, we all need to be here.
Squaddy. But that's true. Like, we just need to all pitch in and play our part too, because back then everybody.
Michelle just jump over Squaddy. She just jump over Squaddy.
Only Squaddy alone.
And we need and people need to do something silly to just take the mind off all this pressure. Play a game with your family. Play some cards. You can't go out to the dance and all of that. How about teaching your kids some dance moves or making
the all-time dance move?
Or do
let
something.
me get up and try the moves.
Or just have a karaoke night.
Why don't we do that?
That's true.
Why don't we do that? We should have a karaoke Saturday morning. Next week, Bring your music, your karaoke music, so that you can come and sing to the audience. We are going to do that next week.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
I just think my diary not allowing me to be present next week. I'm really
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of this show this morning. Thank you, Dianna, and thank you, Michelle. Thank you, audience. Thank you, me love no bad. I love all you participating in the conversations, and see you Tuesday night again. We'll be back right here Tuesday night at 9 p.m. The 3-away. Oh no, the 4-away. The fourth host join us. The fourth host join us. His name is Hadrian. All right, and so we'll see you again Tuesday night, same place, right here on Jamaicans.com, OneLoveJamaicans.com. That's right. Facebook.com/One Love Jamaica. Just like the thing.
Yes, our Facebook Jamaicans. But Leo, also remember that we're trying to find somebody from the cannabis licensing authority.
Oh, yes. If you know anybody from the cannabis licensing authority, please tell them to come join us Tuesday night. And we'll have Arnaldo Brown Tuesday night.
Okay, so good. And
Yes.
and if whoever else wants to join, let's come and talk about this ganja business. Perhaps a farmer, practicing farmer, somebody
Adriana,
who managed to get a license.
how are you, Adrian?
Hi, Adrian.
Hello.
Yeah,
Rastaman.
Hi.
All
Bye.
right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see him again.
All right, Michelle. All right, Diana, take care. We'll talk soon.
Yes, walk good. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bless you all, and thanks all for joining.
All right, bye.